buenas noches a todos y bienvenidos a Alba Habla. Hoy estoy con el mío Marco Sepe, que va a hablar de su músico, es alguien súper, súper, súper talentoso, alguien que yo definitivamente veo, o sea, muy talentoso. I see him as a very talented artist. And so I'm going to let him introduce himself for a little bit. So, Marco, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hola, hola, me llamo Marco Sepe. Thank you for having me, Alba, for this. I'm very happy to be talking with you. So I am a singer, songwriter, and artist, and I produce some music, and I am independent with everything. And I am just really excited to share to you guys about what I do and how I do music as an independent artist.
So I've actually have a little bit of a musical background myself. I've been playing piano my entire life since I was like 5 years old. But for me, I never got into creating music. That was never something that I was like passionate about. I played classical music. I still play classical music like my whole life. So when did you realize that like music was something that you were passionate about? That's something that you wanted to pursue?
I've always like wanted to do music, but like at a very young age, my parents like put me into like music, like piano, and I definitely was like, oh, I hated this, like this sucked, like oh my god. But my music teacher, she was also Colombian as well, so like we had a little bit of background, and we also like knew what we were talking to when we were talking to each other. So it was like we knew what we were doing, and she taught me a lot of like music and music theory and how to play piano. And at a very young age, at like 6 years old, I was like playing piano and doing some of these like little performances in a little building up north in New Jersey, and it was a very special moment. And like in elementary school and in fifth grade as well, like I used to play different types of instruments, such as like violin. Oh, wow. And the viola. I was definitely like super super into those types of instruments as well, and I definitely like to like play. I used to play like a lot of instruments such as like the viola and the violin, and it made me feel like I was definitely a part of something. I was super into it, and when I was playing the instruments, I definitely had something that I felt enjoyable towards.
That's really good.
Yeah.
So, were you always like good at music? I know you said before that you really did not like it. Was it because you weren't especially good at it at first, or?
Yeah, I guess you could say that, Alba, because like I definitely wasn't so good at it. I kind of learned like the basics first, and then right from where I started in middle school, that's where I started to like be more serious with music. I kind of learned by myself with making or like watching the YouTube videos and like learning how to um, yeah, like learning how to like play instruments without actually teaching, or like without actually learning music theory. And like the standards of like how you can play an instrument with reading sheet music and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I kind of listen to everything by ear, and it kind of like it brings me into like a different sort of direction, because like I have this thing. It's pretty cool. It's something called like I don't know how you say it, but like you basically can like when you hear a note, or when you like listen to something, you can kind of find it directly to like a color.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I forgot what it's called, but like
No, I've read a book like that where like you can
yeah,
like see colors with different like sounds and stuff.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
cool. I didn't know you had that.
yeah. It definitely helped me as an artist and as a musician, because I did not know anything about music theory or know how to like play an instrument until like I kind of like start listening to music and listening to like these artists when they play instruments and when they like play these different types of chords on the piano or the guitar. I kind of just like found that to myself. Like I just definitely definitely kind of like you know just
Just
learned that all by myself.
That's cool. So like
Yeah.
my experience with learning how to play music is completely different. I I started with a really strict Russian piano teacher, and I used to compete, and it was I still like playing, but I really got away from that whole competing aspect because it was just like a lot. I didn't definitely don't know. I've heard people who learn music on their own, but I personally could never do it because it's it's like hard. Like I don't even know if I had kids if I would be able to like teach them how to do it. I would have to hire somebody because I that's so cool. I really find it fascinating when people tell me that they learn music on their own. Oh, I learned how to play guitar on my own. That's like crazy to me because it's totally different from what I did. So you write songs. So what inspires a lot of your music? What are some artists that have contributed to what you create?
Yeah. So I definitely listen to all types of genres of music. Not just one because I definitely want to like expand my horizons when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to like writing music and being different, especially when you're a young artist in the music industry. And I listen to like pop, listen to rock, listen to indie, listen to all sorts of stuff. But one of my most influences that I listen to or like that I inspire is like Taylor Swift,
Mm-hmm.
Shawn Mendes, Ariana Grande. Like those are like the main 3 points where like I started building up my artistry and how like I can write music and write songs. Like Taylor Swift, she definitely brought up this sort of like new chapter of my life where I just like started writing music without thinking or like without thinking about like oh because like when you write songs you kind of think harder for yourself and um it doesn't really like make it easy for you to like write songs. But like when I listen to Taylor Swift or like when I find any inspirations from someone or from something, it just makes it super easy for me to like write it all out because I get this sort of inspiration and I just like write it all down without even thinking about it because the versatility just makes it super fascinating and super nice without like rhyming with each word or like
Uh-huh.
with making it cool, make it your own. And that's what I like to do as an artist, just making my own type of style and make it something enjoyable for everybody to listen to that they might like.
That's really cool. So when inspiration hits you, it kind of just like comes at you,
Yeah.
and then you just write it all down.
Uh-huh.
That's how it happens.
Honestly, like every single day, or like and like during the night, especially, like I just like have an idea down, and then I just write it in my computer, like write it in my notebook, and then I just start going down, just with my guitar, and then yeah, that's how kind of like the process goes for me.
So it just lyrics comes first, melody comes second.
Yeah, yeah.
So like, okay, that's pretty cool. I've heard like people like I feel like it's different for everybody because I've heard like Taylor Swift
Yes.
she thinks the melody first, right?
Mhm.
Because I've heard that like she comes up with chords and then she comes up with with lyrics behind it. So that's kind of cool how you think of that. So you are Colombian.
Yes.
And so how did being Latino like affect your relationship with music? How did that have any effect on like what you write? Because I know as Latinos, like siempre hay música en la casa. I sometimes go to his house because I'm friends with his sister, and there's always music in his house. Siempre hay música en la casa. O sea que creciste con música en la casa. ¿Cómo eso influyó tu música y en el desarrollo de tu
Yeah.
música?
Like there are many songs that sounds similar to others in the radio, which makes it hard to find something to listen to that is engaging and like out of its general style. Because like as a Latino growing up in a household where Spanish music is involved in my life, I kind of bring that to my music without actually having the intention to about like thinking about it. Because like especially with writing with my songs or like writing music, it just comes out of nowhere, like the musicality when it comes to like Spanish music or like the chords, different types of structure, like it just comes out of me without even thinking about it. Because like I listen to a little bit of Spanish music, but it's not like my general style. But since I'm always in like my house, it's always involved with like Spanish music and Spanish artists such as Celia Cruz, like Carlos Vives, and many more. It just like gives me another influence, even even though I just like write other like music with some of these artists like Taylor Swift and like Shawn Mendes and stuff like that.
Yeah, those are totally like different from each other.
Yes. Yeah.
No, but I see that with myself and just like my music taste in general, because when I grew up, I listened to a lot of Spanish music growing up in the car with my mom. We're going places all the time. And I find myself, those kinds of musics are more like upbeat, like more positive, more happy most of the time, more romantic. And like, I feel like I grew up with that. And I feel like a lot of times the music that I like, I don't even write music, but the music that I like subconsciously goes along more with like those kinds of themes. Like I like more upbeat songs. I like songs that are more fast. You know what I mean?
I know. Like definitely. Like you could just be playing like happy-go-lucky songs anywhere in any single moment, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're going for like a workout at the gym, like all you be playing is freaking SZA.
And so, would you ever consider? I know you like Kali Uchis a lot, and she is Colombian as well, and she's really cool. She incorporates like Spanish and English into her lyrics. Would you ever like want to do that one day in your music? I think like would that be cool?
I think that is a very fantastic trait, especially for an artist, because if you're trying to bring two different types of industries together, that would be the most beneficial goal that you would have. Putting Spanish and English lyrics together in a song, that just brings out so many other platforms that you are able to like put your music out. Because like say that I'm categorized for like a different for something like a best pop vocal, but like for only English stuff, I would only be categorized for that type of like for that label because I only do English. But if I do like Spanish and English together, like it goes throughout the entire
and it works. Like if you can actually make it work, and I think that's what makes it really cool is that like the only song that I know by Kali that she puts Spanish and English is Telepatía.
Yeah.
And it's like really popular. It's like a really, really popular song. And I'm sure a lot of only English speakers don't know what she's saying in Spanish, but it works.
It does.
Like it actually flows. It actually works. It actually sounds really nice.
Yeah.
And I feel like that could work really well for you.
Definitely, because like you see like a lot of people, they listen to like SZA and all sorts of like English speaking artists. But if you do put Spanish and English with everything, then you got a whole different set of fans and a whole different set of like people that want to listen to you.
And I feel like that trend of combining English and Spanish together in songs is actually like really popular right now.
Yes.
Like I could name like a bunch off the top of my head. Like even as early as like, okay, this is a really old song, but like Despacito with Justin Bieber, like that was a really, really, really popular song back in the day. That was a really popular song. And a lot of people like didn't even know like what the Spanish lyrics was. They would like sing it wrong, but everyone loved it a lot because it was really cool how they could combine those two languages together, and it works. It really works because like you said, Spanish is like upbeat and English can also be upbeat, but combined is like, it's like really cool. It's magic. So we talked earlier about what artists influence your music. So you said like Taylor Swift, Shawn Mendes.
Grande.
Yeah.
I can name a lot, man. There's like so many people that I'm super inspired by.
So what exactly inspires like your music? Like what topics do you go to, or does it just like all like come at you?
I always like want to write about like experiences, but I want to write about personal experiences as well. Something that people can relate to, but it also has like your own individual type of like song that people find it interesting enough to actually enjoy it, you know? And I like circle back to like types of like topics such as like mental health, topics about like loving yourself and being true to yourself, and like um, having that mindset of like actually like achieving your dreams, because I think that is something that everybody needs to hear and listen to. Yeah.
So you usually like, so you project, do you feel like your music projects more to like kids your age, but like that's kind of stuff that like people can relate to? Like I feel like mental health is something that concerns like more generally speaking like people our age. Believing yourself is more important in people our age when we're still discovering ourselves and still figuring everything out. And like you said, self-love. So you do you feel like it's more centered towards like adolescents, like kids our age, like young adults?
I would think so too. Like, I think that pertaining to like that certain group, many people do feel down, especially at our age, because we're going through so many phases.
Yeah.
And I think we just need a little bit of boost from another person that can help them to get through whatever they're going through.
Yeah.
I think that's like something that everybody needs, right?
Yeah. So speaking of phases, have you gone through like different like phases in your life, like music wise, of like where you're like really into like these kinds of songs and then you're really into this? Like, do you experience that?
Totally. Oh my goodness. Like I had this one phase where I just like was like a soul singer. Like literally I would belt out so many notes, and and I didn't even know I was capable of doing that.
Yeah.
Like literally, cuz I was a timid singer. I didn't really know what I was doing, and then I started listening to these different types of like music.
Yeah.
And then I just like had this phase where like I would be a belter. I would be like a very intimate person when it comes to singing. Like you name it, there's so many things that I could do with all the phases that brought me to like being who I am right now.
Yeah. So, being young and being like in this industry, like it's important to have like people that can like back you up. So, like, what people in your life would you say like support you like the most when it comes to like a music career? Like, who do you look to like, you know what I mean, to like help you out?
Right. I definitely see my family supporting me. They've always been there. They've always come to my shows, and they've always supported me throughout since the first day actually. Like every single time when I keep performing or when I have a performance on a certain day, like everybody in my family is excited to see me. And it's just such a great feeling.
Yeah.
That you have somebody by your side that will support you throughout your whole entire journey.
Yeah.
Especially when you're being a young artist in the music industry.
Yeah, because I can imagine that's pretty intimidating.
Yeah.
Like, because I feel like something that I keep relating it back to me, but like something that I would struggle with is like insecurities, because you don't know if like, is my music good? Like, would people actually like this? Like a lot of like that I feel like would come into my head. And so that's really nice that you have people to like back you up and like remind you that like there's people who like your music.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like my first critics, honestly. Because like when I give them a song, they're like, "Oh my gosh, I just want to listen to this all day." And like they tell me the most nicest things when it comes to like creating a song, or like when I write a lyric, or when I show them like a song that's upcoming that I'm gonna release, something like that. Yeah.
So that's like, so when you write something, your family is the first people to see it.
Yep.
You don't show like friends, or like you don't. Do you like, hold on? Do you like trust people with like? Are you comfortable with like showing people like, hey, like I just wrote this last night? Because I know like with like people who like draw like or write, like a lot of people don't like other people to see what they did or created artistically, creatively, because it's like scary, because you don't want people to judge it. You don't want people to give you critiques and then you see it in a different way. So are you like that, like shy about your work, or not really?
It depends on the certain type of audience, or like certain type of person. So like if I show it to my teacher, I think they are a great outlet when I give them like a listen to my music, because they give me like stuff that I would need help on, and I would definitely like work on it, and it just comes out to be much better than before.
Yeah.
And so like the friends too, like my friends too, like I think that when I show my friends, they give good feedback, and I just like that from them too, and like it's a great feeling
When they respond to it.
Exactly.
That's nice. Yeah. Yeah, I am like really jealous of you and your ability to just like perform in front of a lot of people, because like I said before, I used to compete, and so I used to perform in front of audiences, and even like performing in front of my family for me was really scary, because I just did not feel like I'm more comfortable speaking like this than I am like putting my talents out in front of people. And so I applaud you for that, because that's really
it's everybody's fear. Like everybody's fear is like public speaking, but like we get through it like right now.
But what was I gonna say? But for me, like it was never like I did never wanted to show people my talent. Like I don't know, like I feel like a lot of people don't know that I play piano. Like I do have a musical background, but I just don't like share it a lot. But I like how it's nice, it's refreshing to see like other people share it, because I feel like a lot of people are musically inclined, and a lot of people do like might have a voice, that might really have a talent, and then just never do anything with it.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see like someone like our age that's like actually like making a career out of this, which is really fun.
Yeah, like I don't really go to like I'm not in any special programs that involve with music. It's all by myself. So like I go out busking if I wanted to, and like I could even like sing to you if I wanted to, and I like that's just a good feeling, because like what you need to think to yourself when you're performing is that like you're a great person, you're a great performer. Like you got to think all of these great things about you that makes you more comfortable when you're performing on stage.
Yeah.
Because like I know that when you're performing, it could be scary sometimes, and I think that like when you do that, when you are scared, just like think of something that makes you comfortable, that makes you like more
Relaxed.
yeah, more relaxed. Like for example, if you are scared, like think of everybody in their underwear.
Does that actually work?
I mean, it works to me.
do you actually do that?
Maybe.
Because I heard that in like books and like movies. I didn't actually think people did that, but that's interesting. Okay, so do you want to do a little performance for everybody? Because I know you brought your guitar there. He was just tuning it up before we did the show. So I'm excited, because this is the first time I'm seeing him perform live. But I've heard his music before and everything. So
yeah, I'm glad that I'm gonna perform your song, because it's actually a song that I haven't sang to anybody before, that I'm like comfortable to like sing to you guys.
Okay. Well, I'm excited.
And this song I wrote back in the summer,
Okay.
and yeah, I think I have. Let me see. So this song is called "Dear Olivera," and let me just get the lyrics. I just want to make sure that the chords are right.
No, that sounds very good.
Okay.
You want to move the mic up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Dear Olivera, there's something I should tell ya about a thing that bothers me. Dear Olivera, I was looking through your camera, and all I see were memories. I loved your smile, grew by the mile. So last thing I would say, the things we do here in town, it's so clear. You were never in my way. I miss you like the sky that had no stars. The nights would always haunt me. But if you hold me tight a little longer, then I finally have to lie. And soon we'll reunite. I wish you like the sky that had no stars. The nights would always haunt me. But if you hold me tight a little longer, then I finally have to lie. And soon we'll reunite. Dear Olivera, there's something I should tell ya about a thing that bothers me. We were both lost in a current of doom. We had no one to assume the places that we have to put through. I loved your smile, oh, goodbye, the mile. It's the last thing I would say. The things we do here in town, it's so clear. You were never in my way. I wish you like the sky that had no stars. The nights would always haunt me. But if you hold me tight a little longer, then I finally have to lie. And soon we'll reunite. I miss you like the sky that had no stars. The nights would always haunt me. But if you hold me tight a little longer, then I finally have to lie. And soon we'll reunite. I loved your smile, goodbye the mile. It's the last thing I would say. The things we do here in town, it's so clear. You were never in my way. And nights would always haunt me. But if you hold me tight a little longer, then I finally have to lie. And soon we'll reunite. I miss you like the sky that had no stars. The nights would always haunt me. But if you hold me tight a little longer, then I finally have to lie. And soon we'll reunite. Dear Olivera, there's something I should tell ya about a thing that bothers me.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank
That
you
was
so
really
much.
good. I love that. So,
Oh my God.
I liked the chords. The chords were really like interesting because it was like also it was like were they like what kind of chords? Were they like major, minor chords? What were they?
They were like a little a mix of both. Like,
Yeah, that's what I was
yeah.
because I felt like upbeat, but the third one or something like that felt more sad, like
Yeah.
minor. It was definitely like took a sadder approach.
Mhm.
I like that a lot. So, want to tell us a little bit about that song, where the inspo came from,
Oh,
how the lyrics came about? I want to know. That was a really, really crazy, really good song. I
yeah.
liked it.
Thank you. I kind of like wanted to put this song or like make this song about mental health. Especially at our age that we are going through some stuff, whether it be like family problems or just like insecurities about yourself that you don't like,
Mhm.
or like just there's a lot of things that you could do to help yourself to
Mhm.
get out of that type of like feeling. There's so much help that you have that's surrounding you, like your friends, your family, your teachers, your mentors,
Mhm.
everybody, and like this. I just want like this song to like let everybody know that you got somebody that's there for you,
Yeah.
and you don't need to hide your feelings because we understand you, we hear you, and we will fix everything. Like we will fix your problems, whether it's good or not. You know.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I like that a lot. I feel like now that I'm hearing that and I was like trying to listen to the lyrics specifically to like understand like the message and stuff that makes sense. Um, the part about the something aloe vera bothers me,
Yes.
something that bothers me.
Yes.
Yeah, now it's making sense. The puzzle
Yeah.
pieces are clicking
Yeah.
together. But that was really beautiful. I like that a lot.
Thank
So
you.
you wrote it this summer. So
Yes, I wrote it in the summer, and I actually was like, while in the process of writing this, I wanted to like show it to a teacher,
Mhm.
like a music teacher, and he thought that it was beyond great because at such a young age, like people don't really talk about it,
Yeah.
especially with the mental health. And since I brought it up, that's something that people would be more interested when you're listening to this.
Yeah. Okay, so this is just like a random question. So you said you wrote this during the summer,
Yeah.
but for me, personally, like in the summer is like when you have like more like alone time, like more like you can be like by yourself. So do you find like in the summertime, like or just in moments when you're by yourself is when like you get more like inspiration when you can like hear your thoughts kind of?
Yes. I do. I do work much better when I'm like having a little bit of like free time
Mm-hmm.
without thinking of other stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's where my mind goes to like go work and create music and write
Yeah.
lyrics. And I definitely like put myself in a place where it feels comfortable.
Yeah.
Like I think of something and it makes me like go back to like when I just started like doing music, or like maybe putting myself in a type of like phase, or like say for example, like I put myself in like this sort of era. Like say for example, like a Victorian era. Like I would like drink my tea, I would like write my music, I like get like a little quill to start writing stuff.
So
Yeah.
you really have to like put yourself in the time, in the
Yeah.
place, and really just like
Yeah.
put yourself there.
Yeah. If I wanted to be more like, if I wanted to like have a more professional type of song when like the words are like very fancy,
Mm-hmm.
I would have to like put my mind into some place, like especially like write my songs like with a quill,
Mm-hmm.
because like that's kind of like I think Taylor Swift does that.
She writes with a quill.
Yeah, she like when she first started with her music, she like wrote with her quill, with like with her paper, and she kind of like brought like a sense of character when it comes to writing her songs. It's really cool.
That is really cool. I never
Yeah.
even thought about the way like you write something as a totally different
Yeah.
effect.
I know.
I guess it's just like preference, like you said, like sometimes you write stuff down on your computer.
Mhm.
Other people write it out on a piece of paper and pen, others with quill. And I guess like to each their own. And I think that's like what's really cool about this. The whole process of music is like different for everybody.
Yeah.
Do you have like other friends, like other people that create music as well?
Yeah. Um, I actually went on a business trip to California not too long ago, and it was for like independent musicians and artists, and it was like more like a group where everybody gets to like talk about the same things, like what's it like being in the music industry, or like how do you start out when you only have like one song out, or like when you're trying to build up your artistry. I met a ton of people there, and I'm actually like I was actually like one of the youngest people that was there, and I met I met a lot of people that like were like older, and they just like saw through me, like they saw what I had, what my inspiration was, and like I had so many people that like that still contact me to like see how's it going, how's my music.
Yeah.
But I definitely want to have more friends that are into music, that definitely want to like like grow as a musician, because like I think that helps for the both of us, or like for everything, for like our ideas and everything.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah.
So you talked like a little bit about like some struggles, like as a trying to like make yourself known and everything. So what are some like struggles that like is like hard in the beginning?
So in my point of view, I think when you're starting out, you for me, I kind of thought that like I'm already like this type of person that is already out, but I was actually wrong. Like I'm just like starting out, I already have music, like just only 2 songs, and I first thought that like, okay, everybody's gonna listen to my music, I'm gonna be like well known on TikTok, but it's not like that at all. Literally, you definitely need to like really think hard and like take the work, like put in the work when you're building up this process, when you're doing music, because if you don't do anything while you're waiting for something, then nothing's going to be done. and and that was what I was doing first when I was starting music, until I got like some professionals to talk to me saying that you need to like start playing guitar more, you need to start producing more music by yourself, because I did have some people like produce music for me, and not like actually learning how to like produce your own music, because it does save time and it does save money, and like especially for like a budget artist, it's pretty like easy and much simpler for doing that type of stuff than like being dependent depending on somebody.
I totally forgot that music is like a really expensive industry. When you
Yes.
mentioned money, I was like, oh wait, music is actually really expensive. I forgot about that.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Like, do you want me to say? I gotta say, like, when somebody listens to my song, for each stream is like 0.0013 cents. That's crazy. That's like literally nothing. And like for like a year, you'd be making $13 if there's like people like listening to your music. Like,
Oh
not for,
wow.
I
Is
know.
that on like most platforms it's like that?
Yeah, mostly on like Spotify, YouTube, like stuff like
Holy
that.
wow. I didn't realize it was that low. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I know. That's
I
like the struggle for artists, for everybody.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's why like a lot of artists have to like get second jobs
Yeah.
because that's not how they're gonna be making a living.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. I didn't realize it was that low. That's the first time I'm hearing that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I always thought it was like 25 cents a stream or something.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh, now you know.
Yeah, now
Yeah.
I know that it's really it's hard out there. It is hard. So what are some like cool things that come along with like your work and what you do?
Bringing the art out into the public
Mhm.
is the most greatest thing because it shows you what type of like persona or like what type of artist you are.
Yeah.
Like the type of style that you like, the type of like aesthetic that you go for, and brings people like to look at your stuff, to listen to whatever you have,
Yeah.
and you you get more pleased into like what people like listen to or like look at, because now when you have a lot of that type of like audience to look at, you actually have something that you could go for and you could like bring out into the table, you
Yeah,
know?
that's interesting. I think
Yeah.
also when you see people in general, like when you see them in their talent, whatever it may be, you see them with like a new perspective.
Yeah.
Like it's not that like you don't respect them before, but it's like, wow, like they're very talented. I respect them even more than I
Yeah.
did before. And that's something also we can go into, like the arts now. I feel like is like, I don't know. How do you feel about the art? Like, do you feel like right now, like music, art, writing, whatever it may be, poetry, acting, like, do you feel like it's like appreciated in like today's society, or like, is it like more like underappreciated?
I think it's getting there. Yeah, I think it's getting there because, um, like, there's so many things that people mostly focus on, but not really for like the poetry and for like the visual arts and everything.
Mhm.
But that's why we have new people that like bring their artistry in different ways that makes it unique, that people want to be engaged, and that kind of like makes everything better, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what other like creative like outlets do you use? Because you're a really creative person, obviously. What other like methods like of creativity do you do? Do you also just make music, or like do you do anything else?
Well, I mean, I'm a professional swimmer.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. Like I do competitive swimming. I've been doing it for like at least 5 or 6 years now.
Mhm.
Yeah, like I started in middle school actually, and we would have like 6 practices, like every single week, and like every single Sunday. I remember we would go, to like the Y at 5 in the morning, and that's just like, oh my God, it's so stressful. Like it just, I mean, it was good, at least for me, because like it gives you discipline, and
Mhm.
it brought me to my senses saying like, okay, I can't be lazy. Like this the whole entire process of like swimming and stuff won't make you lazy. It's actually going to make you more stronger, like your mind and like your
Mm.
body, and like that really really helped me out with like creating a mindset, you
Yeah.
know.
So how do you like, is it important, like how do you incorporate, like you just talked about, like discipline in like your music? Like do you have a routine like of like where you just like
Mhm.
make music and are like productive with it?
Yeah.
Because you have like sessions where you just like create or like?
So I like to yeah, like I like to like say that we as artists like have these ups and downs. It's like a roller coaster.
Uh-huh.
Think about that. And there are some days where you actually feel creative and you want to write something, and some days where like, I'm tired of like, writing a song for now, but I'm still gonna be thinking about some ideas for like the next song. And especially when you're having discipline, you have to like actually be assertive to what you want to get for the goal that you want to have. And you just like make that more. I don't know, that's like a hard topic, man.
So basically like creativity like comes in
Yeah.
waves.
Yes,
Like
yes.
writer's block basically.
Hmm.
Like do you have some days where like literally you have like no ideas, like nothing,
Right.
like no inspiration?
Yeah.
Like nothing comes in your mind.
I know, because like you've been working so hard on something that you just lose the energy, right? You just need to gain, like you just need a spark to like gain all that energy to go back into songwriting.
Do you find yourself like ever like, I know you said you write a lot at night, like you write something like you're like, oh my god, this sounds so good, and in the morning you wake up and you're
Yes,
like, oh my god, this is trash.
I know. That's definitely how I feel, man. Because um, I'm like my worst critic, because like I always like be so critical about myself with my music. So if it helps, like just giving it to somebody or like showing it to somebody like your friends or family is just much better than just like saying, oh, it's bad. Like it's so much better when you have somebody around that helps you, because now you won't be so like critical about yourself, because they'll just say that, oh, it's really good, like,
Yeah.
even though you think that's terrible.
Because I've heard also like some artists like they have like their top songs, like it's their breakthrough song, and they don't like it. Like, is there any songs that like you wrote that you don't like?
Yeah, sometimes I write songs, they get produced, but then unfortunately, like I don't like them to be released, and it would have, because like say that I wanted to put that in an album or something, it would like and then like a few months later pass, and when like the album releases, I like regret that feeling of like not putting that song in the album, because like that would have been a great song to put in the album, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I think that's kind of like what
The creative process.
the creative process goes
Yeah.
through.
I mean, I get that. That's tough.
Mhm.
Because I feel like sometimes, like, even just in general in life, like, we can become really obsessed with something where, like, I feel like in the new year, like, people want to go to the gym, they want to start eating healthy, and then after a month, they're like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I feel like it's kind of the same thing, maybe, with, like, you're really obsessed with the song, like, oh my God, this sounds so good, I love it, and everyone around you likes it, and then you're too invested in it, and then it's like, wait, I'm not even sure if I'm that crazy about it. Is it that good? And then you start picking it apart. It's kind of like when people, like when you take like Instagram pictures or something, and then you zoom in and you're like, wait, I don't like that picture anymore. And then you have to archive. So yeah, I think that's really interesting.
Cool.
Well, what else can we talk about? I don't really know. I feel like we've like gone over a lot about the music and the creative process and everything. We talked about like stage fright. I mean, in the beginning, did you used to have stage fright? Like, I know you said that you like built up this like technique of like envisioning people in underwear.
Yeah. There's another technique that I use actually, because like I'm an actor as well, so I do perform on stage, like act. I do, like, I used to be in musicals and plays during middle school, but like I would create this sort of character in the stage on the stage, and that just helped me get through like the stage fright.
Yeah.
When you're acting, but like I kind of like took that trait and put it into performing with an instrument, and when you're singing, because like that really helps me actually.
Like developing a persona in your mind.
Beyonce has a persona. like Sasha Fierce. Like she has that sort of character that she developed.
So you come up with like a character that like makes you confident, that makes you feel good.
Yeah.
And then you just embody that on stage.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I actually would use that. Like, because I do a lot of presentations in school. That actually makes a lot of sense. Because I feel like sometimes it's like nerve-wracking to just be yourself in front of a bunch of people, and like maybe you yourself are timid and you're not comfortable. But I feel like building up the personas is actually really smart.
Yeah.
Because then you like totally embody it, and then you forget this like timid, maybe like disposition that you have, and then you just become that other person.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that. So in terms of like vocals and stuff, did you work with any like coaches to get your vocals like where they are?
I started working out with my voice during like my freshman year when I was 15, like 14. And I mean, I did have some sense of singing before I had a vocal coach, but it was like all self-taught. But before or like when I was doing the vocal coach, when I was with the vocal coach, I did develop some sort of like technique, and I developed very rapidly when I was singing, and it definitely helped me. I I was like I was singing really bad, like when I was like singing the posture, um it wasn't correct as how a actual singer
Like
would.
technically speaking.
Yeah. And when my teacher helped me through that, I definitely like something came out of me like that I never knew that I had. Like before, I really didn't have these powerful belts that I used to have, like, did not have. And now like I'm able to control that, and like being a vocalist helps you with everything too. That's like a trait that's really beneficial.
I think it's also really cool being able to perform like with a guitar, because I feel like there's a lot of people that just like hold a microphone and like sing and stuff, but it adds like a sort of like character, like like almost like more soul, like more something else, like another element. Like when someone's like closing their eyes and they're like strumming the guitar, like on the keys, like Elton John, like it's so more like captivating when you see someone who can like do both at the same time. And it's also really hard because I don't sing, but I like to play songs that are popular, like to play songs that like I like on the radio and stuff. And it's hard to like focus on the lyrics and playing at the same time because there's a lot that goes into like singing. You have to think about like what lyric comes next and stuff like that. I'm not professional at all, but I'm just saying on like my own experience. Like it's like really nice to see people who can like do both at the same time because it's really underrated. Like it's actually, I don't know if it's like easy for you. I don't know if it comes like naturally to you, but like for me, when I do that, like it's really hard.
Yeah,
I can't.
So
I
hard,
struggle to do both at the same time because it's like you're multitasking.
Yeah, it's so hard, and I'm not really good at multitasking either. Bro. God, like so many times that like I had to practice, I just get so frustrated that I just like start screaming because like I'm not able to play and sing at the same time.
Yeah. So with the memorization, do you like memorize the chords at all? Or do you like just come up with them? Like how does that work with like the actual melody of the guitar?
I kind of like memorize the chords. Maybe take some chords from other songs that I've listened to, and then like make them my own. Because like there's that many keys in a keyboard, but like there's so many songs that sound similar to some other songs. Not every song is gonna sound different. It's always gonna sound similar to some other song. Yeah.
No, because I mean, there's only so many chords you can work with and stuff. Because that's why there's like a lot of songs that sound similar to each other, but they're different songs.
Yeah.
So.
But like with the Spanish music too.
Yeah.
Like that also helps making it different. With the chords, you got like the chords that make it spicy. Yeah.
That's interesting. I like that. Yeah, that's nice. So I don't know how I think are we good on time? Okay, we have a bit more time. So, that's interesting. So, what was I gonna say? So, being being a young artist has its struggles. Definitely, I didn't know that you can only make like literally less than a cent
Yeah,
on one stream. I had no
it's a
idea.
decimal.
It's
Yeah.
literally decimal. That's crazy. So that's really interesting though how you come up with the whole process of like the lyrics and everything. And it's just a testament to like how your I think like how your brain like functions and stuff because like I tried to write a song one time in quarantine. I was a little bored.
How did that
And
work out?
it's actually a lot harder than it looks.
Mm.
It's really hard because it's like you have to like come up with like the chord and you have to like connect it to the lyrics and stuff and like I didn't even have lyrics and I was just really bored. But how was like your experience with like music making and like quarantine? Like did you come up with a lot or were you just like alone?
That was when I started listening to different types of genres of music. Like I literally was listening to Shawn Mendes all the time. I really wasn't like looking or like listening to like other different types of music. But now with the quarantine, there was some bad stuff going on, but it also brought good stuff to me that helped me through with my artistry. Like I suddenly like learned how to like play different chords by like listening to bossa nova music or like jazz, and it brought me to like different like artists that are around the country, like all around the world, like this artist that I found. Her name is Emily Claire Barlow. She's like the most greatest jazz performer and singer. She has been nominated for like I don't know, some Grammy, and she's like a French singer. She sings like jazz. She sings bossa nova, and like there's this one song that I love from her album. It's, like in 2012, it's called C'est si bon, and it's a French song.
Yeah.
And like it's so joyful. It's like so happy. Like every single time that like I am in the car, I always put that song, and I definitely like I definitely had a good time like listening to French music and jazz and bossa nova and all those different um, music genres when COVID hit. That was like
Exploration
time. Yeah.
That's cool. So how do you implement any of those like elements of like the French music, that bossa nova you were talking about into your music at all?
Cause like there's some sort of like beauty when you listen to jazz or French music. They kind of make it smooth in like some sort of sexy way.
I think it might also be like the language is like everyone says like French is like the most romantic language.
Yeah, I love that. And it also brings another type of audience that would like be interested to listen to you and see how you can experiment with different types of music. It's a good feeling. It's a good trait too.
Yeah, that's cool. So okay, so quarantine was like more of like where you like explored different stuff. I know you said that you were in like musicals, so are we good on time? Okay, well, I'm gonna wrap it up. I was gonna ask you a different question, but
we'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that in the car ride home. But what was I gonna say? So thank you, gracias por estar en el programa. Me gustó mucho hablar contigo sobre tu carrera. Me interesa mucho la música, me interesa mucho cómo la gente crea música, porque para mí yo creo que la música es algo muy bonito y no todos lo pueden hacer. Es un talento. Y tú obviamente tienes un talento muy bueno. Me encantó tu música. Me encantó cuando tocaste en la guitarra. Y si quieres mandar saludos y decir algo, ahora es tu oportunidad.
Okay. Hi, Mom. Hi, Mommy. Hola. I love you.
Okay, so yeah, guys. Eso fue Marco Sepe, un artist in the making. Follow him where, like, you want to like say your socials.
Yes. So my social for Instagram, my Instagram account is Marco Sepe Music, and I have a main account as well. It's called Marco Sepe, P as in like PEE, so that way you're able to like pronounce it like that way, because like some people do like say it incorrectly,
I
like
said
Sepe.
Sepe. I
Yeah,
said Sepe
yeah,
originally.
Sepe. So there is a link tree that you can click above my bio, and it will lead you to all these sorts of websites that you can check out my music. You can check out my artist account. You can check out my covers, and yeah, you have fun with that.
Help him out, guys. He makes 0.0013
Yes.
cents per stream. So check it out. He's a really incredible singer, as you could tell. Enjoyed speaking with you today.
Me too.
Y para todos mirando, buenas noches. Feliz día de San Valentín. Happy Valentine's Day. What other? I don't even know what other holidays are coming up. But have a good night, everybody. Buenas noches y nos vemos cuando nos vemos. Chao.
Somos el vínculo para educar, empoderar y organizar a las comunidades migrantes. Queremos defender nuestros derechos civiles y humanos. Si eres estudiante, jornalero, trabajadora doméstica o te interesa conocer más sobre tus derechos, síguenos en nuestras diferentes plataformas. Somos Radio Jornalera New Jersey.